I have two questions in regards to dating I want to answer for you guys. So the first one comes from Oompai12846. So her question is pretty long and I'll read it really quickly. Well, there is a guy I like, but I don't know how he feels about me. His friend asked me out yesterday and I don't know if I should say yes or no because I kinda like the friend, but not as much as I like him. The guy that I like and his friend are like brothers and I'm scared if I say no to the friend. The boy I like won't like me. I don't know what to do. Can you please help me? He expects an answer by the end of the week. So, Umpai, first things first, you want the optimal goal, which is the person you like to like you back, and for neither of the two brothers who aren't actually brothers to not be offended. In order to get this optimal goal, you might need to have some balls. I'm not talking actual legitimate balls. I'm talking you're going to have some courage and you're going to have to actually want it. And the reason for this is because you're going to have to do something. And if you're not willing to do this, then that's fine. There's other options, but they will not be optimal. Let me just run you through every single possible scenario, because I've either experienced them or I've played them through in my head. And that's why you don't need anything but me to solve all your questions. So, optimal scenario. To get that optimal scenario, you have to find out if the guy you like likes you back. And there's a lot of ways to do this. You can check out a lot of videos, including the one I made on how to tell if someone likes you. Really, you just have to gauge it from there. And if he doesn't like you, then your optimal scenario is not possible. There is possibly a way to possibly change this guy's mind into liking you, but that will take a long time. The next option is just to blindly just say no, and what's probably going to happen is he may or may not get offended and he may or may not talk to his friend about it and they both might not like you. In order to figure out what will happen, you have to gauge what these two people are like. Your question is still semi-vague. Because of this, there can be quite a deal of different scenarios because different people have different personalities. If these two guys are jerks and the one guy is a real prick, he will tell his friend and he'll tell his friend, don't talk to this girl anymore, ignore her. But there's also the chance that this guy is a prick but his friend is a quality person, and despite you rejecting his friend, he's not going to be mad at you. He might not like you any better because of the fact that you rejected his friend, but because he's a quality person, he won't hate you anymore. It'll just be like before and after, still neutral. Unfortunately, I wish I could tell you more, but you were I wouldn't say you were semi-vague in your question, so I don't know the personalities of these people. And we do know that the world is filled with different types of people and different types of personality. Personally though, if they were such big pricks about it, which I doubt they are, then I wouldn't want to hang out with them anyways. If they aren't, which I think they aren't, then your friend's friend will most likely not get pissed off if you reject his friend. If I feel like I have a good chance with the guy I like, then I would go for it and reject the friend. You probably need some courage to ask this guy out yourself, because there's a chance, depending on how shy he is, that he will just be too shy to ever ask you out. You don't know just how much he likes you just because this guy asked you out and he didn't. He might like you just as much, if not more, than your friend, but he's just too shy to ever approach you, ever. There's also an equal chance that he doesn't like you at all. So you just have to gauge this, and if it's still unknown whether he likes you or not, then it's really up to you. I've been through the scenario where I decided, okay, I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to go for the one that I like more. And then what ends up happening is I reject the one I don't like as much. And then I go for the one I do like. And she doesn't like me at all. So now neither of them like me. And you're screwed. You just kind of have to go for it. And it's up to you. Do you want to risk the chance? Because obviously, at the end of the day, you don't know 100% whether they like you or not, so you have to risk the odds. The other option is just to, say no to the friend, ask the guy you like out, and if he rejects you, then you go back and say, I changed my mind, I want to go out with you. And then you just do it very discreetly, and it'll all be good. I'm sure he won't mind as much. He'll be pretty happy that you change your mind and want to go out with him. He doesn't care. You don't even have to tell him that you only rejected him initially because you wanted the other guy. That's what I have to say for that. Next question comes from Mate Dogs We. His question is really, really long. It's about 2-3 paragraphs, so I'm going to have to paraphrase. He's essentially a guy from Sweden who is very interested in some of my videos on AM/WF, which I think means Asian male and white female. In Sweden, he doesn't see a lot of this. But he did meet a girl online who is white, he being Asian. What happened was, unfortunately, they recently broke up. I'm going to read this out to you. I was actually together with a Swedish girl, but we broke up like 2 months ago. It wasn't really a good relationship. We rarely met, and it didn't feel natural. We also met online, so it wasn't like I had the confidence to approach her randomly. Sometimes it feels like I will never get the opportunity again to date a white girl, and it feels lonely. And then he goes on to ask a bunch of questions. First things first, if the relationship wasn't all that good, just because she was a certain race, whether it be white, Asian, whatever, it doesn't matter. You don't continue the relationship. Just because she's white, if that's the only reason you're continuing a relationship, then that shows a lack of self-confidence. There's plenty of girls out there, I'm sure, that will like you for just however you are. I guarantee you there's a girl fine attractive out there who likes you for who you are, and it's a good relationship. You also mentioned in your question, it's a very long question so I had to paraphrase, that you play video games a lot and you don't go out a lot. And you say studying is very important. Well, that is very, very true. All those things are very important. But if you find yourself having all this free time and wishing you could meet girls, then sure, studying is important, but first off, I don't see you spending all your time studying anyways. So you obviously have free time to do stuff, and if you're constantly thinking about this, then it's obviously very important to you. So don't be afraid to go out, meet new people. There are a million things to do to meet people, either in school, in college. You can Google it, but I'll just give you a few examples. School clubs, school activities, working out in the gym, joining in track and field, joining a sport after school. And I know for some of you guys who are possibly like me and don't have a lot of physique, well, I'm telling you, when I first started track and field, it took me about 1.5 years of high school before I even got the courage to join. And I was probably the most weakest, most unathletic person. Then I realized how nice everyone was to me, and then I realized there was nothing to be scared of. No one's judging me, and after a while I found it really, really fun. I have no regrets, and I'm really glad I joined. Honestly, it's all in your head. I had no reason to ever be scared of it. Another thing you said is you guys met online, so I'm suspecting you don't have a lot of outlets to meeting people. Again, you really have to go out of your way, and it comes down to how badly you want it. If you truly want it that bad, then you have to go out and get it, because no one's going to come to your house and make friends with you. That's called being a stalker. It's not going to happen. I've been alive 20 years hoping for some hot girl to come to my house. It didn't happen. Even if it did happen, I'd probably be pretty freaked out. I'd probably think, what's wrong with this girl? Is she some sort of stalker? She probably has some mental problem to come to my house and knock on my door, regardless of how hot she is. So if you guys have any more questions or comments, send me a private message and/or leave a comment down below in the video response. If you want me to elaborate more on any of these points, I can do so. Just leave a comment below and I will reply with elaboration on any of them. I'll see you guys later. Peace out and subscribe if you liked.